Hey everyone, Emma here, and welcome back to our cybersecurity journey. Today, we're diving into something super important, threat enumeration. Learning this stuff on our channel will make you an expert in cybersecurity, so let's get into it. First off, think about this. Adversaries need to know more about us than we know about ourselves. And to defend against them, we've got to know them just as well. So far, we've seen how crucial it is to understand our network's setup to defend it. But now let's look at the other side of the coin, understanding the bad guys. We've all had that moment where we realize, wow, we've learned so much so fast. We've learned that we often overlook our critical assets, ignore parts of our networks, and sometimes only secure the shiny stuff, leaving the rest wide open. This can lead to some serious damage, right? So naturally, the next question is, how do we keep up with what these attackers are up to? This is where threat enumeration comes in. It's all about understanding the tactics, techniques, and procedures, or TTP for short, that adversaries use. This is part of what we call threat intelligence, which is like gathering all the intel on how, why, and who might attack your organization. Now let's break down TTP. Tactics are the big picture strategies attackers use. Think of it like their game plan. Techniques are the specific moves they make in that plan. It's the nitty-gritty of how they execute an attack. And procedures? They're like the step-by-step instructions on how to carry out those techniques. But let's not forget about the who. Sometimes organizations think, why would anyone bother with us? Big mistake. Even if you think you're not a juicy target, you might have something an attacker wants or needs. Maybe they want to use your systems to store illegal data, like pirated movies, making it look like you're the bad guy. Or maybe your network just happens to be an easy target because you missed an update somewhere. Attacks aren't always about being targeted specifically. Sometimes it's just bad luck. Your system got caught in the crossfire of some scanning software looking for vulnerabilities anywhere it can find them. But of course, there are also very deliberate attacks where you're the bullseye. So let's dive deeper into TTP. Tactics. This is like the adversary's playbook. They might decide to use phishing to get your credentials, or maybe they'll go for a direct network intrusion. It's their overall approach. Techniques. Now we're getting into the specifics. If phishing is the tactic, the technique might be crafting an email that looks like it's from your boss. It's how they're playing their chosen tactic out. Procedures. Here's where we go detailed. If the technique is an email, the procedure will detail how they make that email look authentic, what software they use to send it, and how they extract the information once you click that link. Understanding these layers helps us predict and prepare for attacks. But how do we get this info? Well, part of it comes from analyzing past attacks, both on your network and others. There's a lot of sharing in the cybersecurity community about what's going on out there. But threat enumeration isn't just about past attacks, it's also about staying ahead. You need to keep an eye on new vulnerabilities, emerging threats, and the latest tactics. It's like being a detective, always on the lookout for new clues on how to stay one step ahead. Let's talk about some real-world examples. Remember when WannaCry hit? That was a perfect example of how an exploit could turn into a global ransomware attack just because of one unpatched system. That's why knowing about threats and patching systems is so vital. And what about zero-day vulnerabilities? These are like secret weapons for attackers because no one knows about them until it's too late. Staying informed means you can patch or prepare before these become public knowledge. Now let's think about how we can use this knowledge. One way is by simulating attacks on your own network. That's called penetration testing. It's like having a friendly hacker show you where your defenses are weak. But it's not all about tech. Human behavior is a huge part of security. Training your team to spot phishing emails or suspicious behavior can be just as effective as any software solution. We also need to talk about threat hunting. Instead of waiting for an attack, you go looking for signs of intruders in your network. It's proactive defense, like patrolling your neighborhood to keep it safe. And let's not forget about the importance of sharing intelligence. If you learn about a new attack method, sharing that with others can help the whole cybersecurity community. It's about collective defense. Here's where we dive into some practical steps for threat enumeration. Vulnerability scanning. Regularly scanning your network for vulnerabilities is like checking your doors and windows to see if they're locked. It helps you find weaknesses before anyone else does. Incident response planning. Knowing what to do when you spot an attack is crucial. This isn't just about tech, it's about having a plan to communicate, contain, and recover. Threat feeds, subscribe to threat feeds. These are like security newsletters that tell you about new threats. It's your early warning system for what's happening in the cyber world. Behavioral analysis, look for unusual behavior on your network. If a user who normally logs in at 9 a.m. suddenly logs in at 3 a.m., that's a red flag. Threat modeling, this is about predicting how an attacker might target you. What are your crown jewels? What would they go after first? It's strategic thinking about your defenses. Cybersecurity forums and communities engage with other professionals. You learn a lot from the war stories and experiences of others. It's like having a network of spies telling you what's out there. Dark web monitoring. Sometimes you need to know what's being said or traded about your organization in the dark corners of the internet. This can give you a heads up on planned attacks. Security Information and Event Management, SIEM. This tool helps you connect the dots between different logs and events, making it easier to spot attack patterns or anomalies. Red teaming. Beyond penetration testing, red teaming is about thinking like the enemy. It's an intensive exercise where you simulate an attack to see how well your defenses hold up. Threat intelligence sharing platforms. Platforms like MISP or others allow organizations to share and receive threat data. It's about working together because cybersecurity is a team sport. So if you're into this deep dive into the minds of cyber attackers, stick around. I've got more content coming that'll keep you on your toes. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, we're in this together, making you an expert in cybersecurity, one episode at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more cyber adventures. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and stay secure, my friends.